Good morning, world, and welcome to Apocaflix now. Yes, like right now, instantly, live, coming to you from Sacramento, California. This is our very first live show for this show. We did record the Fandalorian Club last night live, which was pretty fun, and looks like we're probably going to go live whenever we can for Apocaflix now, as long as everything works out. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and like usually, I am joined by Keith Barnes right here on my left, Brian Avellino right here on my right, and of course the man over there, Jake Berlin, handling all the controls over there. And
she said live from Sacramento. It's Saturday morning.
Yes, it is Saturday morning, and it's funny because we record on Saturday, but it doesn't release until Monday.
Yeah. Right.
So we kind of changed the release date of our show without even discussing it. I guess
didn't even think about that.
I mean, neither. But hey, I'm down for it. It gets the stuff out sooner because
it's a cool thing because it's kind of like a wrap up of what happened in the week.
Yeah, which we do anyways, but you need time to get it
this
up.
is earlier, and people may be off on Saturdays.
Exactly. So I'm all for it. Apocaflix now on Saturday morning. Let's get to it. We got a ton of stuff to get to today. Something which can be very controversial regarding major studios and movie theaters, we're not going to talk about that yet. I'm just going over a couple of the things, and of course we're going to go over some trailers and some news stories. But before we get started,
yes, I have an announcement. Breaking news.
I'm excited about this.
What can it be?
I watched The Matrix yesterday.
Whoa!
Really?
Okay. I was expecting
hold on.
I'm moving back home or something like that.
This is huge. All right.
Okay.
And I actually liked it.
That's awesome.
That's the news.
So wait, you were so pessimistic about it.
Yeah.
I was so against it.
But
I was super into it. Although I'm still there's certain things I'm like
what certain things? The movie's almost perfect.
The first one.
I don't like how he is super chill, and then all of a sudden once he accepts it, he's just super
That's Keanu Reeves.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm not used
That's
to
Keanu.
I don't know.
So you think he went full robot?
Not even.
I know
robot,
what you mean though.
but,
There's a change in the way he.
Well, it's the moment where Ray knew what the Force is. Force Awakens.
Right.
He captured this thing, and it's the thing where he goes, and then he just kind of does this thing where he centers his body. And then you can just say he's overtaken by this thing. He's
I am the one. Kind of different too.
He's the
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
Full belief in himself. It totally.
That moment where he dives into Mr. Anderson.
He leveled up, powered up in that moment.
I love that scene at the very end where all the bullets are flying at him. He just goes and and then picks it, and then they all drop in Mr. Anderson's face. It's incredible.
It's everything that Morpheus has been telling him that he
had
moments where he didn't believe it, and all of a sudden, wait, no,
yeah.
I am the one, and that you can just see it.
I did not think I was going to actually like this movie, I was just
that is so good to hear.
I'm so proud right now.
I got first off, could not believe that movie was made in 1990.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely, yeah.
That would hold up.
Same
to
year
movies.
as Phantom Menace.
Yeah, that would hold up to movies
a month earlier.
Nowadays.
Yeah, right.
And so that shocked me.
So that's what makes it's unbelievable that they haven't gone back to it all these years. I know they just announced it now, but it's taken 20 years.
Part of it is the terrible reception of the sequels.
Yeah, you're right.
So I was shocked because usually you guys make me watch stuff and I'm just yeah, it was great. And this time I was oh, okay.
Right.
Now, that's just a testament to how great The Matrix actually is.
Yes.
Yeah, Brian actually liked it. Yeah, so I legitimately was do I have time to watch the second one? And I was
listen, I just rewatched them recently.
You need to watch them to experience them.
Especially if he's going to watch the fourth one.
I watched the 2 and 3 a few months back because my kids wanted to watch all 3, and not as bad as I remembered at first watching them.
So 2 is not terrible.
The worst. There's some stuff that the first hour was what is going on?
I like the action.
The action's
incredible. With the twin guys.
It's one of the best action sequences ever. And then part 3 is actually okay for me. I know a lot of people. It's not that. It's not.
What was going on in that movie?
Listen,
I still don't know to this day.
I was the same way. I just rewatched. I'm okay, this.
Which one did the raid happen? 2 or 3?
That was 2. That's what I'm saying.
Dude.
What is this?
Dude.
I know. It's one of the worst things.
The only good parts of 3 are the actual battle scenes with the robots and stuff. Very end.
Agree. Okay.
That stuff's incredible. Visually, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And all the Morpheus stuff too with the ship and everything.
Yes.
Like that stuff is great.
When they're
Everything
racing.
that happened with like Neo and everything, like.
I don't like that. I like that. Oh man, when they get to almost, but yeah.
I'm just picturing people dancing.
I like
a
Neo's
rave.
stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the first thing that pops in my mind.
See, and that's what it is with everyone. That's why I say if you
I
watch
can't
it again,
even remember anything else.
I know. It's,
Well, that is great to hear. We're gonna have to decide on Brian's next mission.
This may be
I
the
think we
opening
should
of the
watch
show.
the-
This may have to be the opening of the show from
So-
now on.
Maybe by the end of today's show, somebody think of a movie.
Yeah.
Or The Matrix came up
Watch the
naturally,
sequels.
so we'll
Yeah.
see if something comes up naturally.
There's so many movies he hasn't seen.
Yeah.
Like last night, he told me something he's never seen.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, he's never seen Galaxy
Brian,
Quest. You gotta watch that next week.
Seriously?
You gotta watch that next week.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you gotta
There we
watch
go.
that next week.
do you like Star Trek at all?
I don't like Star Trek, but I love Alan Rickman.
I told him and
It's
Tim
like-
Allen together in that movie are incredible.
Man,
The two of them, and then Sigourney Weaver's
And
awesome.
It's not just making fun of Star Trek.
No,
it's
not at
making
all.
fun of like fandom.
it's
and-
got, but
yeah.
not even making fun. It's got
Dude, it's
love.
so good.
And
Oh,
you see the respect for
absolutely,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
It's,
for
it's,
sure.
Galaxy Quest is
We were
great.
literally about like Knives Out was like about to start, and I said, "Oh, I haven't seen Galaxy Quest either." And he goes, "What?"
How did that come up though? What?
That's what I'm saying.
There was they're doing a documentary on it on
Really?
Galaxy Quest, and
What?
there was a preview for it in the theater. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just
Oh, it's
what?
so good.
And,
Galaxy
and
Quest
all
was, like,
the
ahead of
cast
its
came
time.
back and they're doing like new interviews and stuff like that, like Sigourney Weaver and Tim Allen and everything.
Oh.
So it came up as a preview, and he said that I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, he
Wow.
was mad. It was not a good.
Well,
second.
there's the next
That's it
one.
then.
I'm not opposed to that because I've always kind of been curious about one. So
I mean, it fits. I think it's in your wheelhouse. It's a movie about geek culture and fandom.
anything
Yeah.
Alan Rickman is, I usually
Yeah, he's
sorry.
great in it, of course.
All right,
I haven't seen
well-
Spaceballs either.
If I may,
Other than Brian watching
No, I'm
movies,
kidding. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
say that.
I'm
Well,
kidding.
yeah,
I'm kidding.
my kid, I showed that to my kids. They loved it. That was hilarious.
Of course.
All right, other than Brian watching movies, our first segment is what we've been watching lately. And you guys saw a new movie last night?
Yeah, Jake and I saw Knives Out.
We did. It saw it a week early. Got a chance to see it.
Brian Johnson.
They're doing early screenings this
For a
weekend.
lot of movies,
Yeah,
yeah.
I might go
There was
today.
today and yesterday, and I had to jump on it right away because this movie, I believe.
Wait, please limit no spoilers, please. I know you're not doing spoilers,
we can't say much because the movie is literally a giant spoiler. Like the
but
movie
like
is
what
a giant
a
spoiler.
spoiler is very vague.
Like this is if you say anything about this movie, it could ruin the movie. So we're not going to say much. I will just say that it lived up to my expectations. It really did. The cast that he assembled for this, they're not all just great actors, but they fit the roles so specifically. Like he dotted the I's, he crossed the T's, he did exactly what he needed to do as far as casting. I'm so happy. Like all of these actors are getting like. There's a lot of actors lately who have been getting like a renaissance, right? Like Brad Pitt's kind of coming back. I'm so excited to see more Don Johnson.
That was Jamie Lee
I am
Curtis.
so Jamie Lee Curtis the last couple of years.
The best.
Don Johnson is so good in these type of roles, the role that he
He was
plays.
so.
Chris Evans is incredible.
I was going to ask about Chris Evans.
He
So
is absolutely
the way
incredible.
his character is, does it make sense why he like? Is it
1,000%,
that's just his personality?
1,000%,
Yeah.
and he plays the douche so well,
Yeah.
so well.
Going into this movie, I was like, either he's gonna be really great, or it's gonna be like, oh, he was doing
Nope.
too much there.
Nope.
Yeah.
You can tell that he really enjoyed his time on this movie.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Well,
he like
has
physically.
comedic chops. Dude.
Yes.
He did a lot of comedy in his early days.
Yeah. No, the film, the
He
story.
wasn't really even comedic.
Well,
A little bit.
In
He had
all the
funny
trailers,
parts, but he wasn't
in all
like-
the trailers, he's like the comedic relief.
The trailers. There's moments in the
Don
trailers where
Johnson was comedic.
it's definitely deceiving trailers, which is what you want from a
Well,
whodunit.
of course,
It's 100%. But what's cool about it is that it's not crafted like your typical whodunit.
I would expect. So.
No.
It's crafted very differently, and it works so well for the story that he's telling. Ryan Johnson is. I know that The Last Jedi and everything, like whatever, but his capability to tell stories is. It can be considered second to none, like in the business, the way he tells stories. Specifically, like this Looper and
Looper's
Brick.
awesome.
Like his.
Do you like Brick?
I like Brick. I really
Yeah.
like Brick.
I'm iffy on Brick, but
No.
I do.
It's a hard movie to get
Looper's
past.
amazing.
It's a really hard.
and I love Joseph Gordon.
Yeah.
too,
So, but no, this movie is everyone needs to go see this movie. It's funny. It's dark. There were moments where I was getting goosebumps because it was like the moments were so intense. Like
It's funny
you
to
were
me
finding
that it's
things
like
out.
coming out on Thanksgiving.
I know, right?
Messes with your mind.
Yeah, I love it. It's incredible.
Oh, does it come out Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah,
Or-
it comes out next
or-
Wednesday.
or
Next Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
so they say this
the day
Thanksgiving,
before,
like
yeah.
the time, the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
week. So not surpassing Ford v Ferrari though, right?
No, but it's in my top 5, and I don't know the order that it's in right now. But it's
Where's Endgame for you?
top 5. So the 5 I have right now are Ford, and this isn't in particular order: Ford v Ferrari, Peanut Butter Falcon, Endgame, Jojo Rabbit, and Knives Out. Those 5 right now are.
We're getting towards ranking season.
Those 5 are
excited.
delivering on every single level for me. So
It was good. You'll like it. You'll like it a lot.
yeah, Keith, you're gonna love this one.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this one, and you're gonna like it because it keeps you on your toes, and you love that crap.
Yeah,
You
I do,
love
I
that
do.
crap.
I love movies that kind of misdirect you, and
100%.
I'm
yes.
excited for that. All right, so
Anna de Armas too. Sorry, Anna de Armas. She is
The lead, basically.
she's essentially the lead. She's the girl, the robot girl from Blade Runner 2049
Oh, okay.
with Ryan Gosling. Incredible,
Oh.
absolutely incredible. She's someone to look out for. Very, very.
It has a huge cast.
Yes.
That movie,
Yeah, they're all good too.
Did I see is Tony Collette? Is she in this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, her character.
She's so funny.
Her character is so good.
I love
So
Tony
good.
Collette.
Yeah. And so was she wasn't in it too much, but Catherine Langford.
Yeah,
She's
Captain
fine.
Langford's in there. Daniel Craig, we haven't really talked about.
Dude,
Lakeith
he's-
Steinfeld.
oh, yeah.
Lakeith Steinfeld's great as the cop in the movie. I mean, the cast is really. I mean, they're all really good.
Daniel Craig's accent.
It looks like it looks like a Hercule Poirot
Kinda.
kind of story.
Kinda, yeah.
When it was coming out, that's what I thought it might
Except
be.
better.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, great. It was great stuff.
That's awesome. I can't wait to watch it.
Mm.
Yeah. So, what is our hot take today, Jake?
All right, so our biggest thing that we're going to be talking about today is.
Can I wait?
Oh, you have something? Oh, Ford v Ferrari. That is correct.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. That might be our other segment is where I review movies from the week before that you guys already talked about.
Yeah.
We've done like 3 of those already, but all right, listen. I have these like landmark movies. Landmark movies for me where I know I just saw an all-time great. All right.
Landmark movie.
Landmark movies. So I remember coming out of The Departed, I was like, all right, I just saw one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I had the same feeling with like No Country for Old Men.
I haven't seen it.
Actually,
Let's stay
So,
on target here.
you probably won't like that. It's too long and you don't like long, boring movies.
Yeah.
But Sicario was another one.
Yep.
Ford v Ferrari is on this list.
Hell yeah.
It was.
I'm literally like it just like you said, it was riveting. Christian Bale. We don't love him enough. I don't think. We don't. It seems crazy to say because he was Batman and he was.
Yeah.
Christian Bale is just
Incredible.
Acting. Just
Well,
he's treasure.
He's up there, dude.
He's on par with Joaquin Phoenix to me.
on par.
Yeah.
On par. He's getting the Oscar.
Well,
if he doesn't win,
There's those top tier guys like Leo's up there.
Sure.
In that top
Yeah.
tier.
Leo,
Everyone
Bale,
says
I'm
Leo
saying like
is-
Bale's
but
not
Christian
really
Bale-
mentioned that
that's
much.
what I'm saying.
That's
He's
top
overlooked.
tier.
He's 100%
in
overlooked.
this movie, he's. And I love he had kept his accent, which I didn't know that guy was British. I didn't
Ken
know
Miles,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that. But I knew very little about I knew Shelby and of course the Shelby GT and all that. I knew just like surface stuff. I didn't know so much of this story. So that's the performance, and of course, I mean Matt Damon was really incredible as Carroll Shelby. Josh Lucas.
Josh Lucas, the
I
douche.
hadn't seen that guy in so long. He was one of those guys that people thought he's gonna be your next movie star. And he never really kind of. Man, you hate that guy. Really, till the end.
The character.
Yeah, till the end. Yeah, Josh Lucas.
He's one of those characters that you know that he's doing so good because you hate and
Right.
despise him.
Like, oh, exactly.
Like
That's what I thought
like
the
a
whole time.
Joffrey. Like
Yeah,
it's like
right.
I
That's
hate that guy,
yeah.
but he's doing really good.
Right. And I'm sure that's a tough part to play.
Yeah.
You know people are gonna hate you, but you mentioned the racing scenes, all the car scenes, and you talking about CG and stuff. You can't really
No.
tell. It looks incredible. The effects are
To
great.
be honest, that may sound stupid, but I didn't know that any of that was.
Yeah, you're right. No,
when you guys said it, I was like,
and I was really
That's
looking,
good,
yeah.
and you can't tell at all. And the sound. The sound
design is
is
incredible.
gonna.
It's the sound mixing, the sound design
Right.
is absolutely beautiful.
Right.
There's
Star
a
Wars
chance,
is always.
there's a good chance it could beat Star Wars.
That's what I'm saying.
This
Star
type
Wars
of
is
film
always up
has
there,
a chance
but I
because of the
think so.
cars.
Well, yeah,
It has a chance.
Yeah. It's the sound's incredible.
And probably the sound mixing too.
Yes, both.
Yeah.
Both of
It's
those.
very hard to do, especially with that many cars
Yeah.
going on at the same time.
And the whole movie, too.
They all have to sound distinctly
But
different.
there's probably a score playing at the same time, too, and
right.
the crowd and all that
There's
stuff.
so much
You haven't
going
seen it,
on.
have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
No.
man.
You're gonna.
I haven't seen it yet, but
You're a Mangold guy. You're gonna love this.
Yeah.
so
Oh,
busy
Mangold.
with school. But here's the thing. I'm telling you guys, Mangold is the best director working in Hollywood.
I was thinking about that.
Now,
Watch it.
I'm not with that. I think
the thing is,
Villeneuve.
there's a few guys.
Yeah, we're feeling away.
But
There's
Mangold's
a
in
few
top
guys
3.
in that
Yeah.
conversation.
I'm with you.
He's on this
I
hand.
hear you.
He's 100% on this hand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily argue. Like I said, we're Villeneuve, whatever.
Denis fans.
Yes, and I think what's he doing next? He's doing
Dune.
Dune. That's right. Oh, okay. Stay on time. But no, yeah, Mangold's direction in this movie.
I'm a Wayne's brother type of.
I love the Wayne's. Hey, they're great. Comedic titans. I love them. But yeah, this movie, this immediately was. This is number one.
Jake came
number one of the year.
watching, and was watching.
Number one of the year as well.
Really?
Man.
That's my number one. Yeah,
That is.
yeah, right now
Wow.
that's number one. Yeah.
I saw his Facebook post
I
the
can't-
day after we
I
shot.
saw it
in
too.
my head, I'm like,
Yes! Like,
Yeah. Right.
I get that.
Man.
I'm so shocked that Endgame is not on Jake's number one because of what Captain America does in that movie and his role. I'm just
Sure.
so, but that just shows how great this movie is.
dude,
Yeah.
trust me.
Months, there's
I
gonna be a
think
hot
every
toy up here.
every time I look at my list, I think to myself, holy crap! Right now at the moment I have 2 movies over Endgame, and Endgame's almost essentially a perfect movie to me.
Yeah.
A perfect comic book movie, I should
It's been a
say.
good year.
Like
You're
the
right.
fact that I have 2 films, maybe even 3 that could overtake it in the number one spot.
That's insane.
This movie's amazing. Like this year is amazing,
That makes it possible. Like some of those movies could end up being your favorite movies of all
and
time.
we still have Bombshell, we still have 1917, we still have Star
there's a
Wars.
ton
Like
to
there's
come
so
out.
many movies.
still
that are coming
have-
out.
The Irishman,
Yeah.
which has been my number one.
So-
anticipated.
I mean, I'm obviously looking forward to The Irishman, but it has a lot of positive
Yeah,
reviews and everything. Yeah. So
I'm a big Scorsese guy, so but this one, it's gonna be hard. I can't imagine as much as I am looking forward to The Irishman. If it tops this, then I'll be. Very
It's
impressed,
hard for
because-
me to think of Star Wars beating my reaction to Ford vs Ferrari.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian saw me
Whatever.
doing that.
Seriously,
I was up and down out of my seat.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about you, and I felt the same way.
Oh
I'm
my
watching
God.
like, oh, and then not spoiled, but just the end was
Yeah.
just man. It's a great ending, and
That
it's a
race
great
is
story.
24 hours
It
a month.
was awesome.
Amazing.
It was so good, man. And
So-
oh man, Bernthal was excellent as Lee Iacocca, who's got an interesting story. You can make a movie about
Somebody
him.
Bernthal.
John Bernthal leading roles,
Yeah.
please, because
He
he's
will.
always the side character.
He will. at
He's
some point.
great,
Yeah.
man. I was really and the wife. I don't know that.
Yeah,
person.
she. So I found out that she's from Outlander, the Starz show or
Oh
Showtime
yeah,
show.
the main.
Okay.
She's the lead of Outlander.
Oh,
So she's been on there for the
Okay.
past couple of years.
oh, she's wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
So, but let's move on to our
Enzo Ferrari.
Yeah.
Let's move on
He
to
was-
our
yeah,
first
okay.
main topic, our hot take of the week. And we're going to be talking about the news that major movie studios could be in the business of owning theaters here pretty soon. And this is a hot topic. And I didn't know this, but this is actually a U.S. law. This was
Yeah.
passed decades ago.
That they can't.
Yeah,
I didn't know
and
that.
this is from a breakdown of Variety, and these are a few quotes from the article. First quote says, the U.S. Department of Justice is moving to get rid of the Paramount Consent Decrees, a long-standing set of regulations that curb the way major studios distributed their films. And then another quote says, the decrees no longer serve the public interest because the horizontal conspiracy, the original violation animating the decrees, has been stopped. So essentially what they're saying here is that the movie-going public has transitioned. It's a different way of watching film these days. And the law basically stops studios from making, marketing, and distributing their films under their own banner rather than hiring studios or hiring marketing firms or hiring theater companies like Cinemark or Regal to allow their films into the theater. And this could, if this ends up happening, this could be the end of Cinemark, Regal, IMAX, etc., if there's no kind of partnership. But, I mean, this is a pretty big hot topic because if this does happen, there's 10, 15 years down the line, we could see a Disney theater, we could see a Fox theater, a Paramount theater, and this could mean that we're not going to see multiple movies inside a theater down the future. So,
And
Jacob, what do you
eventually
think, man?
it'll just be a Disney theater.
Yeah.
That's it, because they're going to buy everything.
Yeah, so, I mean,
But honestly, I don't like this.
neither do I.
Obviously, we're a movie YouTube channel, so the movies and the movie-going experience is something very special to me, and I'm sure all of us. and part of that is like going to the theater, and you have fans of all different kinds of movies there. You have people seeing dramas. You have like I love going to. I don't mean to like stereotype, but I love going to like a period piece and seeing like an old couple in the movie theater, and I'm watching that movie with them and experiencing it with them. I don't want to have to just go to a Disney theater, and then you only have people who would go to Disney movies there, and it's just kind of part of going to the movie theater is seeing everyone else and what they're going to see and the excitement. Like, for example, last night you guys went to go see Ford v Ferrari, even though they're both Disney movies. But
Knives Out.
Oh, excuse me, you guys went to go see Knives Out. I'm confused, but and then you guys saw everybody going to see Frozen 2, for example,
and
like
21 Bridges, like
that type of thing.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
You know, it might not matter to most people, but that type of thing will go away, and I don't know how the studios. Okay, the studios are going to keep all the profit. That's what's in it for them.
That's what they're.
And I don't see a scenario where the movie chains go away. I think they would do partnerships. I can see a situation where like Cinemark partners with Disney and AMC partners with.
Or it comes to a point
WB,
where someone like Disney, who has Pixar here up in San Francisco, has Lucasfilm up in San Francisco, and it's more of a Cinemark heavy area, Disney could buy Cinemark, and it becomes their theater chain.
Yeah.
Paramount could buy an AMC,
AMC
and it becomes their theater chain, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so that would suck because obviously Disney would be like, no, we're not going to play Warner Brothers.
Of course, they wouldn't. And
unless there's some kind of deal.
What if we want to do a double header of two separate movies that are from different studios?
Well,
like we're going to have to drive to a different theater.
Yeah, like a couple years ago, there was, what was it? It was like Wonder Woman, Guardians, and like a new X-Men movie or something, all in theater at the same time.
Yeah.
We'll never get that chance to see that if this actually happens. It's kind of a bummer.
I'm surprised, and I get what they're saying, that the movie watching experience has changed a lot, but still I'm surprised the US government would allow this. Or I mean, I know it's not official, or is it just a rumor now? Or?
No, there's actually been like conversations about trying to actually get.
So basically they're just gonna reverse the law pretty much, which would open the door for this to happen.
Yep.
This is interesting just because I'm reading about the US versus
I'm not
Paramount.
for it.
No, I'm not either. It's been around since like the 1940s or something like that.
It makes sense too.
During a time, when studios did have their own theaters and stuff, and it was a huge thing, just the way the old studio system worked, and there's no way we can go back to that. But in terms of production, but it is for distribution. It is interesting, and just
I could
the antitrust laws alone.
I could understand someone like maybe like Netflix buying a theater, because they're a streaming service, and it would allow them to put their movies in the theaters, because that's hard for them to do in general. You know, there's a lot of laws against that, and maybe like an Amazon Prime or something. But if you give Disney a theater, I don't know. That would suck.
I don't know about this.
That would really, really suck, because not only are every studio has a specific tone to their films, but they don't have 10 movies out at the same time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Disney has 1, 2.
That's why I don't know.
You're gonna put two. Really. You're gonna put 2, or are they gonna keep them out all year long?
Yeah.
Like this would change the landscape of watching a film dramatically, because Disney puts out maybe like 8 movies a year. You're gonna have one of them in a theater at a time, or we're gonna leave all 8 of out all year long. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. They're gonna go back to like the 70s, where Star Wars was out for an entire year. Like, that's essentially what would happen, because they don't do movies so much like that because they cost so much money now.
Yeah.
And it would transition us into a very, very different experience of watching a movie. Very different experience.
It'd be very odd. You'd have less people at those individual theaters, and what would that do to concession stands and just all those
jobs? I mean, jobs too. Like, all those people who work at the theaters, what would happen to those people?
Well, this due to affect streaming services as well, because we just got Disney. We're talking about Disney owning, but any of them. But how long before we get any of these movies onto streaming services? Or will someone create a thing where there was talk about a box where you get movies that are in theaters right now, and you pay whatever,
like $50 or something,
a month, and if somebody will do something like that and say, okay, well, everybody will just stay home, because viewing habits have changed to the point where people are, I'll just wait and catch that on.
It's also a lot of people a lot more busy with work and stuff. Like, work requires a lot more time these days than it did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so going to a movie theater is hard. And families are getting bigger, and prices are getting higher, and it's just Like, if you have a family of 4, you spend $60 at a movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of money for some people.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of money.
And there's so much competition for movies now. Like, people can stream, they can play video games, they can do so much different things. So
And just watch stuff on your phone.
let me guess, Brian is actually for this.
No, I'm not at all. I think I could see major cities having specific theaters. Like, I could see Los Angeles having a Disney theater. I could see certain cities that, like he said, like San Francisco having a Pixar, Lucasfilm, Disney studio or movie theater.
I'd be okay with like a special thing, like one Disney theater just in Anaheim,
well,
like in downtown Disney or
they
something.
have those in their lots.
Yeah, that's what I'm
They
saying.
have it, and
But can
maybe
the
make
public
those.
go to those?
No, maybe open
Yeah,
those
that's
up
what
to
I'm
the
saying.
public.
Like just occasional special ones, but I don't want to see like 5 Disney theaters in Sacramento.
That's what you want. Like, see, like I don't think we're gonna lose like the tower necessarily because people know that.
That's the scariest thing.
I don't think we'll lose.
If this was to happen, the small movies, A24.
Possibly.
What is A24 going to put their movies in?
Straight to streaming.
Well,
That's
this
what I mean.
this
That's the
this
kind of
is
thing.
the big deal. This is where it kind of crosses the line to me. This would mark the end of indie films.
Yeah.
This would mark the
I
end
don't
of
think
indie
that.
films.
in theaters.
In theaters.
That's what I'm saying.
This would mark the end of indie films in theaters.
Which
We would
sucks,
never
'cause
get a chance to see a film like Peanut Butter Falcon in theaters ever. Jojo Rabbit. None of that stuff.
I
Winter
love
Yes.
watching
Okay, I'm fine with
indie
that.
Saw that in
films
Tower.
in theaters just as much as I love watching blockbusters in
Same here.
theaters. Like,
I enjoy
it's-
it more. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That is what will keep things like Netflix in business is those because they'll go straight to that. You know, because they certainly won't be able to put them on their own. You're not going to get an A24 streaming service, but they'll get a deal with Netflix or Amazon or whatever. And although Amazon makes their own stuff,
I wonder if
HBO, yeah, right, premium channels.
the studios even want this though. I mean, because they have
Disney
to
probably
cut.
does.
They have to cut the theater in on the percentage of the ticket sales, but
But
it's
I don't
just a
think it's
lot
that
of work
much.
for them too.
It's not that much. That's why I'm surprised this is even a thing because theater chains don't necessarily. It depends
They
on
want
the
to get
deal.
in on those concessions,
But they don't get that. Maybe 'cause that's where all their money is. So, and theaters are starting to sell more and more types of concessions and other things, because that's what keeps them in business, along with the big movies as well. So you think it'd be a nice little, I don't know, partnership that they had.
Money drives everything, man.
Yeah,
Money drives everything.
sure.
If studios see a profit, they're going to try and get this done.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer. So.
Well, hopefully 10 years from now we're not talking about this again and it's actually true. So
All right, well, let's move on to our next topic, and we're going to go to our buy and sell segments, and we're going to be talking about some trailers here for a quick second before we get to some new news. And the 4 trailers we have this week are Cats, the second trailer, and then The Call of the Wild, the new Disney movie starring Harrison Ford, Emma, the Jane Austen comedy film starring Anya Taylor-Joy, and Antebellum, the new psychological horror film starring Janelle Monáe. 4 very different kind of movies. But Jacob, you got to choose one of these, man. Maybe not the greatest week of trailers, but which one are you buying and which ones are you selling?
Oh, gee, let's try to figure out which one Jacob's going to buy.
can I just sell one? No, I'm just kidding. If I were, it's Cats. Oh my goodness. First of all, it's so creepy, but also it just looks terrible. No offense to everyone who worked on that movie, but it just looks terrible. But anyways, curious, which one do you think I'm going to choose?
Well, I would hope.
You always think I'm going to choose the horror one.
Well, if we're starting with that, I'm choosing that one, so I would hope you would choose that one.
Okay. No, I'm actually...
Oh,
we have a
look who's
special
here.
guest.
Special guest.
Talking about Snyder Cut?
C-3PO is in the building for the first live show. You want to say hi?
We're live. Say hi.
First live show.
What's up, guys?
Hey, the legend.
We're assembled. The team is assembled. We're full strength.
No, I'm 100% buying the Emma trailer. I'm buying the Emma trailer over all of these.
Really?
I actually love the Gwyneth Paltrow Emma movie.
I actually thought you picked the dog one.
Really, I actually really
you
like
love-
the Call
That's
of the
this
Wild.
one.
I know that.
Yeah.
So I like the Call of the Wild trailer, but I didn't even know they were making this movie, the Emma movie, with Anya. First of all, Anya Taylor-Joy is going to be a freaking superstar. She already is in my eyes, but she's amazing.
She's one of your loves?
Yes, but also, I'm an English major, and I studied Jane Austen, and I took a film to novel class, and we watched a lot of Jane Austen adaptations. And
Clueless?
we watched Clueless, and we watched Emma, and I just fell in love with that stuff. And I love the Emma story.
Yeah.
And the Emma character is an amazing character, especially living in that time era. And Anya Taylor-Joy playing her, 100% buy for me.
I'm Annabelle. Because I don't know what the hell's
That-
I love a movie that I don't know what
That
the
looks
hell's going on.
amazing, to be honest, too.
And
I gotta go.
Yeah. Call the Wild needs to get their CGI together. Because that looks horrible. Honestly, the only thing that didn't look CGI was Harrison Ford.
And he might be kind of...
Yeah. What? Emma? Emma didn't look bad. That would be my second choice. Cats lighted on fire sale. It's, oh my god. It's, I don't know what they're doing.
Do you know what Cats is about? It's a weird story.
I think if what I'm getting from the trailer is one of the cats is going to find a home. And that's what I'm
It's a
seeing.
weird kind of,
Well,
I think
they're
a weird metaphor.
trying
for
to win
that.
a competition or something.
Yeah,
right?
competition. I think that competition is going to be become a house cat.
I think it's a weird thing about like the afterlife or something. It's a very strange story. Whatever. I don't think.
And of course, they have to have all the cat puns in the trailer. It's just
Certainly when they made it, I think it came out in the 60s or 70s, but they were definitely on drugs. Absolutely.
Well, it's a play.
It's one of those things.
It's based on based on a play.
They were
so.
absolutely on drugs when they wrote it.
I'm selling the Cats trailer, but this movie's gonna make a lot of money.
you think so?
I was thinking that when I was watching this. When we just watched it,
It's
I was thinking that
it's
too.
gonna make a lot of
I bet it'll
money,
be
and
huge.
I will say this:
the music and Taylor Swift.
I will also
Swift
say
Army's
this.
gonna go.
Jason Derulo.
I'm dropping a bomb, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be critically loved, and it may even be at the Oscars next year.
Probably.
Cats?
Here's the main reason why.
Disgustingly.
Tom Hooper. Tom Hooper has directed 3 incredible films that have been at the
No, you're
Oscars.
right. You're
The
right.
King's Speech, The Danish Girl, and The New Les Mis.
Mm-hmm.
3 films that
Oh,
have
you're
been
the Danish Girl.
award contenders every
That's a
when
great
they were
point.
that year. If he's directing this movie, there's a chance it could be a really, really, really good story film or a play to film adaptation. Do I like what I'm seeing? Not really, but this could be
it could be a situation where the trailers just look terrible, but the movie's actually good.
Yeah,
It could be a
we've
situation
seen plenty
like
of
that.
those before.
And I just want to say,
Old
I'm
white people.
a huge Taylor Swift fan. Screw
Yes.
the Taylor Swift haters.
I'm a Taylor Swift fan.
That's the only
T-Swizzle.
thing I'm looking forward to in this movie
T-Swizzle.
is Taylor Swift, to be honest.
T-Swizzle.
And when she does this.
I'm buying Antebellum and selling the rest of them.
Yes!
But why are you buying Antebellum?
Wait, you're not buying Call of the Wild?
No, I like
gone.
Called Wild. I like Called Wild. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't think the CGI looks that bad for it being a completely CGI dog. I don't think it looks that bad.
And it'll be better when the movie comes out.
Yeah, I think it's a fact that the trailer just kind of looks okay, but the movie may be more interesting than it actually is. But I like horror movies that play with your psyche, and that's kind of what Antebellum seems to be doing. And I really do think that Janelle Monáe is an incredible actress, and she doesn't get enough love, and she hasn't been in enough movies to give her that love. And I hope they kind of maybe start to realize, her ability.
She's
Yeah,
married
her
to
and,
Jason Momoa, right?
No.
I do this every time.
She's a singer.
She's dating.
She has an incredible voice.
Oh,
She's
Kirsten
dating
Clemens
Tessa
is in this
Thompson.
movie too.
Yeah,
That's what they
it's
were
all
together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm buying Antebellum and selling the rest.
It's a bit of a coin flip. I'm between 2. I think I'm going to lean more towards Antebellum as well. But
What was the other one?
the other one was Emma as well. My youngest daughter's named Emma, and she'll be very excited to see this trailer.
Does she even know about Emma, like what it is at all?
No,
Yeah.
but anytime she sees an Emma anywhere, she gets all happy. so yeah, I'm gonna show her that. She's gonna like the put the EMMA in the trailer. She's gonna get a kick out of that. But that looks so many versions of Emma, I think, and
There's an Amazon show. I
I
actually
didn't know
want to
about
check that out.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
know
surprised they're making this movie when that show's so recent. Yeah.
But I'm the same as you. I like the Gwyneth Paltrow one. It was actually surprisingly good.
It's really good.
And of course, the movie Clueless. If people didn't know, that's an adaptation of
Emma, yeah.
So
Paul
I
Rudd
do
is in
Paul Rudd, who
Clueless looks exactly
the
the same.
same now as he did 20 years or 25 years ago, whatever. But yeah, Antebellum. What it seems like. Obviously, you watch the trailer. I mean, there's a plantation down there.
That
They're
concept
still
of that
having
movie
slavery.
looks
And
incredible.
what is it? It's like what's the Shyamalan movie where
The
the village? Yeah, what's some kind of crazy thing like that? And why is that happening? And what's the supernatural element to it? And I don't know.
Or is there one?
If there is one,
a technological thing.
Maybe, yeah. So I'm quite intrigued.
Or, I mean, not really, but I get a little bit of Truman Show vibes from it. Like,
people are like watching, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Wow, yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah.
Love Truman
I
Show.
think we'll go with that one.
All right, well, let's move on to our next story, and we're going to be talking some Star Wars here, and we'll definitely dive into this more on the Padawan next week. But some interesting news came out from the Hollywood Reporter a few days ago, and not just that Lucasfilm seems to be announcing a new movie and director in January, but that they are hearing some rumors right now that they could be moving on from Kathleen Kennedy and moving on to a triple threat at the head of Lucasfilm that includes Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Michelle Rejwan, who was announced just a few months ago as the Senior Vice President of Live Action Development. And obviously we know Favreau and Filoni are heading The Mandalorian. This is some pretty relevant news. We've talked about this for a while now, whether or not Kathleen Kennedy would step down or when her time would be up. Her contract is up at the end of 2021, and so it wouldn't be for a while. But they could announce this sometime soon, that maybe after The Rise of Skywalker makes an incredible amount of money, that she's deciding to opt out after her contract ends, and then they could be moving on to this three-headed monster at the top of Lucasfilm. Kind of makes sense. The Mandalorian is getting incredible praise by everyone, and having the two gentlemen who are leading that series take over the film franchise and everything that the series is going to do makes sense in my mind. But are we buying or selling this, Keith? I'm going to shoot to you first, man. What do you think about this news with Star Wars?
All right, that's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on.
So let's start with the new director and new movie and director. Now, they're going to announce this?
There's rumors that they're going to announce a new director for the 2022 movie in January.
It's saying they already know who it is, right?
Yeah,
that's certainly. Yeah.
There's a rumor that it's all rumors right now, but they're saying THR said that they already have a director locked down.
Will this be the Feige produced movie?
No, they said it's not.
Kathleen Kennedy said it's a ways out. She said that it's a ways out.
The Feige one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But she came out and said that him doing the Spider-Man movies opened his eyes to
didn't
being
he
able
go
to
to
do
them?
other stuff.
They said he went to them and said, "Hey, can I work on a Star Wars movie?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he's got ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a Star Wars nut.
Right.
I heard. Yeah.
I can't believe that. Okay, never mind. Okay, so, all right, that aside. So, didn't Kathleen Kennedy just sign a new deal?
I think it was over a year ago. She signed like a 3-year deal or something like that.
I thought it was earlier this year. Maybe it might have been last year.
Yeah, maybe it was this year.
It seemed pretty recent.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about replacing her again.
Well, I think she's going to step out on her own terms after The Rise of Skywalker.
A lot of people speculated
that movie's going to make $1 billion, and I think that she'll step out and be like, I did what I needed to do. I made a number of movies that made over $1 billion. I'm going to step down on my own terms.
There's a possibility that she still stays in her position, but
That's
she
what I'm
just
saying.
lets them run
Let's
creative.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's,
Which would be incredibly smart.
That's what it should be. Because
That's
she's a great
what-
producer.
I
I'm
was
okay
just gonna say
with
that.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at Star Wars as if it's made so much money since in this new regime of Star Wars.
Oh, in
Kathleen
Disney's
Kennedy-
eyes, she's been doing it. Great
And
job.
she's literally one of the most successful producers in all of film
Of
history,
all time.
which people don't realize.
Of all time.
Forget about her. They just, the Last Jedi. She doesn't know what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to make movies. She's maybe the Star Wars aspect in terms of the storytelling stuff, because she's not running it exactly like Feige does with Marvel. Fine, okay, then get somebody to do that. But so I think the situation where she does stay as the head of Lucasfilm, because that's who Lucas wanted, right?
Because
He
I'm
wanted
okay with her
to run-
producing Indiana Jones films
Right.
or whatever else they're going to do.
or whatever else, which
Yeah.
exactly what she also was a producer on all these years, along with Spielberg, and so, yeah. So name the three: Favreau,
Filoni, and Michelle Rejwan.
Which we don't know much about, but she's the one who was announced. To
She was announced as a senior
Yeah.
vice president of live action film, but the big thing here is that she's been producing J.J. Abrams movies since 2008.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she apparently they really like her
Sure.
after The Force Awakens and after her work on The Rise of Skywalker, which is why she got promoted essentially.
Okay. Okay. So that Filoni obviously would be the kind of one of the guys people that certainly you'd like to see step up and get a position like that. So I'd be okay with that if that's what they want. And I'd be surprised if Favreau would take such a.
It makes so much sense to me.
But it seems, he seems like he's done a lot of pretty good stuff. I don't know. You think?
I could 100% see him kind of heading
Being a
Lucasfilm,
producer,
and
yeah.
Star Wars is like his thing.
Oh yeah.
You can tell Star Wars is what he's always wanted to do. He started with Marvel.
Right.
He was first an actor, then he developed into a producer, then he developed into a great filmmaker, and now he's showrunning a series.
He does it all.
Yeah.
It seems like his career is just
Nice
kind of doing
progression
this,
for
and
him,
the next progression would be doing something
Run
like
studios.
this. And it would, having two other people alongside him would allow him to direct, produce, showrun, whatever he wanted to do.
He won't have time to be Happy Hogan in the next.
No, because his roles aren't massive.
Shooting
No,
not
yeah.
that much.
I buy this. I 100% buy this. I think this is incredibly smart because Filoni obviously knows what he's doing, and George Lucas is giving both Filoni and Favreau the key to a number of secrets in the world of Star Wars for the Mandalorian, and because of
they're working with Lucas. You've seen the set photos of Lucas on Mandalorian.
And because of the incredible success of the Mandalorian, it only makes sense that you bring in the guys that are heading that project to see what the future of Star Wars looks like to me. So
I think it's time for her to walk into the sunset. Just
the Twin Suns,
the Rise of
the Twin
Skywalker.
Suns, yeah. And just
Why?
because those three, the thing that got me the most.
But why does she have to leave? Why can't they just, like we said, she doesn't have to.
I don't know. I just
She's
the
still in
thing
charge.
that got me was what we said last week. I think you said it, Jake. Was when she said she doesn't do anything without consulting Dave Filoni.
Mm-hmm.
Then let him run it. Like, I mean, to me that's kind of like you don't trust your own, and you're supposed to be the higher up. Like, why do you have to consult him on every single thing?
Why is that bad?
I don't know. It just kind of
Because he knows Star Wars and she doesn't. She knows Star Wars, but she doesn't know it as much as he does. She needs to make sure she's not contradicting canon and all those types of things.
At the beginning of her tenure, if she would have been like, I'm the president, but I'm allowing these other people to help me with Star Wars and teach me canon.
It's like a sports team. She's the GM and they're the head coach.
But the problem is, the beginning of her tenure, she didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
She ran everything.
She wanted to be the GM and the head coach.
There's no way she can make that big of a switch as president. She either is president doing what she's been doing for the last 4 years, or she's not. There's no in between, in my opinion. I don't think that she can do a seismic shift in being like, okay, I've been successful, but now I need to step back and let someone else kind of tell me what I need to do. Because she's been doing it for the last 5 years or whatever. There's no way that she shifts her viewpoint on Star Wars and her job title that quickly. She either steps down or she stays on.
she's
There's
going to be a
two
silent
options.
partner.
That's what
Two
you
options.
made right. That's why when I allude to how long she's been in the game, and like I said, she's one of the most successful producers ever. So she maybe there is a sense of like, I don't want to.
Even if she does leave, she's going to have whatever job she wants.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
She'll stay on as a producer or something
Yeah.
like that.
So I 1000% buy this. I love this, and I'm okay with her staying on, like we talked about, and letting, and kind of having maybe Michelle Rezwan as her protege in a way, and then letting Filoni and Favreau run creatively everything that's going on. And the thing is, I like Filoni and Favreau together way more than I like either of them individually being in that role, because Filoni knows everything Star Wars lore. He knows what's canon, what's not. He knows all about all those things.
Him and Pablo Hidalgo.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just him in charge, only like he was end all be all. He was making all decisions. I don't know if that's a good thing. But with Favreau being there, Favreau knows what he's doing. He's writer, director, producer. He knows how to do all of those things. So I think it's a perfect combination of them working
It's
together.
also, for Favreau, he worked 10 years inside of a universe that connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a producer on all the Avenger movies.
Yeah.
He was involved in everything. So he knows how to make sure that something... Because there's a lot of continuity things going on in Star Wars, like what's happening, characters, everything. He's had that connection with Marvel, and you bring him over to something like Star Wars, it can fix all those issues.
So like Filoni's the expert on Star Wars, and Favreau's the creative mastermind. So it's perfect.
Casting, he's good at casting.
If it happens.
He fought, and he's one that got Robert Downey to be Iron Man.
I want to know who grabbed Deborah Chow, because whoever.
Well,
you are,
have you looked at her resume?
It was
was him.
Have you looked at her resume though?
Yeah, TV show.
She's
She's
directed
incredible.
amazing
Yeah,
stuff.
she's incredible. If that was him, cool. You're in charge because don't get me started.
All right, let's move on to our next story. We're going to move on to a brand new Ben Affleck film that is headed our way. He's been announced for a number of projects as far as starring roles, but we finally have his next directing gig, and it's based on King Leopold in the 1800s. King Leopold II, excuse me. And the film is based on a nonfiction book that is titled King Leopold's Ghost, and that'll be the name of the film. And just a little background on the movie or the book of what it's about. This comes from Collider. And it says, it will concern the horrid legacy of Belgium's King Leopold II in the 1800s. He became wealthy by privately buying the Congo Free State, setting up mercenary armies who plundered the region for resources and slaughtered anyone who got in his way. But eventually, residents of the Congo began to fight back against Leopold's vicious rule, and Affleck's film will center on three people leading the counter cause: an Irish spy, an English journalist, and an African-American missionary. No castings have been announced yet, but everyone's expecting him to get some massive A-list stars into this one.
Of course, it's Irish spy.
Yeah, so cool thing here, though, a little connection. King Leopold is also the king during the Tarzan era. The Alexander Skarsgård movie, he was the king during that time. It won't connect, obviously, but we've seen him.
So Tarzan's going to be in this movie?
That wouldn't be crazy. But there's a little connection there. But yeah, I mean, we know what Affleck's capability is as far as a director. Brian, I'll shoot this one to you first. Man, you buying this movie or are you selling it?
I don't know, honestly. Like, you know how I am with period pieces as far as, like, The King and all those types of ones. So I'm kind of like, but this one sounds...
You love Game of Thrones.
I did love Game
That's
of
real.
Thrones. But there
Based
were,
on true story.
but there were dragons. If you give me dragons, I'm pretty much in. I don't know. I mean, part of me thinks it... Here's what makes me think it could be cool. It sounds like it's going to be brutal and, like, violent and, like, not, like...
What Affleck does well.
Yeah, which is... It doesn't sound like it's going to be, like, a Darkest Hour, where it's just kind of, like, the suspense of... But nothing ever really happens.
I love Darkest Hour. I love that movie.
So do I.
So, because if you give me Darkest Hour, I'm not going to... That's a slow movie.
Well, you hate that stuff.
Yeah. So, but if you give me something where there's going to be, like, the history aspect with, like, stuff going on, like The King I was into. It had its slow moments, but there were battle scenes and stuff that I made. And I don't think Ben Affleck's going to make a slow burn movie. Like, I don't think. Especially when the second he said Irish spy, I was like, okay, Ben Affleck's definitely doing this one. But I'll buy it because your description sounded violent, and so it sounds like it's not going to be like a slow. It sounds like a gruesome kind of story. So
I mean, unfortunately, because that's
it's a terrible story.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll buy it.
I 1,000% buy this quickly. 1,000% buy this. Anything Affleck does, I'm into. Live by Night was definitely a little.
I actually like Live by Night, but the thing is, you have such high expectations.
It's a speed bump in his directing for me, but everything else he done, I'm totally locked into. So I 1,000%.
It's funny when you were talking about this, it kind of made me think of The Lost City of Z, which I love.
Sounds very similar.
I love that movie. That's a good movie.
But yeah, no, total buy for me. So.
I'll buy as well, as long as I start thinking about Live by Night, which was his last. As long as he's not in it. Which I love him as an actor.
He'll be Irish spy.
Maybe it's one of those things.
But
Maybe he's better when he's as good as Argo is.
Well, he's a better actor when someone else is directing him.
Yeah, like look at Fincher and Gone.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Or
So,
the accountant. He's
maybe you can
amazing.
put more of his focus on the
Or
directing.
Daredevil.
Or Batman v Superman. He's
Sure.
amazing
Yeah,
in
he's
that.
good.
He
Yeah.
is.
He's a good Batman.
So,
Perfect time for Geo.
he's also Justice League. But, yeah. You might be right, actually, to be honest. But, no, as long as he's putting more of his focus on the directing and directing other actors, which he's really, gosh, I mean, we just mentioned the film, but he's a really good director, man.
He's a great
really
filmmaker.
one of the younger,
Can
not
you?
younger, but newer.
I know I
directors.
always go to this, but can you imagine if he cast like Leo in this, like him directing Leonardo?
Leo.
Every single movie.
my
he
favorite
has
actor.
Leo.
Yeah, I'm with you. No,
But here's the thing: Leo's not
Dr.
gonna
Seuss
do
wrote
everything. This is
Leo.
something Leo would do. This is something Leo would do.
maybe
Yeah.
he's so selective, but
Oh, he is, but I'm saying it's in his wheelhouse. Like he's not gonna do a comic book movie, but he he would do this.
I don't know
You
if
what I'm
he's
saying?
going to take direction from Ben Affleck.
What's the?
No, he works with great
It might.
directors.
I mean, I don't know. Well,
I could see Ben Affleck's not going to get some bullshit. Sorry, BS cast.
yeah.
We got
Whoa.
flagged.
No, sorry.
Live.
Sorry. But I
Canceled already.
Yeah, he'll get a good cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
a great filmmaker. He won Best Picture for Argo in 2013, and then him and Damon got Best Screenplay in 1998.
The Town is his best movie. It's incredible.
I think I might like
Baby
Argo
Gone
more.
is-
I'm with the town.
I like Gone Baby Gone and The Town better than Argo, and Argo won Best Picture. But real quick, this is hilarious. Not the context of the content of that's not, but this is literally what I was writing my essay on last night.
Story?
Yeah, so not specifically him, but my essay was about European imperialism in the 1800s and 1900s, and the beginning of it is about King Leopold and exactly this story.
No wonder you waited
And
till the last
my
God,
like the chapter that my essay was based on, it opens with this about King Leopold, which is crazy because like I know about it, but I learned so much more about it in the past couple days, and
be a screenwriter,
which is crazy.
Colonizers.
But I 100% buy this because I love Ben Affleck. I wish he doesn't. He only has four films under his belt.
Yeah.
But for me, he is one of my favorite directors working today for sure. And I look forward to anything he does. And especially if he chose to do this, then he's invested in it. So he's gonna put some heart into it. So I buy it.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to throw out two names to star in this movie. Colin Farrell as the Irish spy.
Yeah.
And Christian Bale as the English journalist.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'll
That
run
would
to
be
the theaters.
amazing.
Just saying, I was finding a way to.
I don't even have a.
I was finding a way to throw in Matt Damon in there, but I want him to get
What was the
legitimate
other
guys,
character?
an African American missionary.
Chadwick Boseman.
Which is an interesting. Oh yeah. Okay.
That'd be interesting.
Diamond.
No.
Oh, that's a good
That's
one.
a really good one. All right, let's move on to our next story.
Denzel.
We're gonna buy and sell two movies that got announced this week. We have a new Robocop movie coming. It's been in the talks for a while now. It was originally going to be directed by Neil Blomkamp, but he stepped off the project. So Robocop Returns is officially coming from Abe Forsyth. This comes from THR, and he just directed a little movie called Little Monsters. It's up on Hulu. It stars Lupita Nyong'o. And he also did another movie called Down Under. And it's going to do the Halloween and Terminator effect where it's just a sequel to the original Robocop. All the sequels that came before after are now no longer going to be there. And then this is going up against the brand new Star Trek IV that officially is a go with director Noah Hawley, and he's going to be writing and directing the movie. And the original cast of the first three Abrams movies are expected to return. So Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, and Carl Urban. More than likely Simon Pegg as well. And it's also expected that Chris Hemsworth will not be there as Kirk's father, washing away the story that they were going to blend the lines between past and present. That comes down to a money factor, and this comes from Variety. So, Jacob, I'm going to go to you first, man. Are you buying Robocop or are you buying Star Trek?
Star Trek,
Really, you have
100%.
a weird
I'm not I like the RoboCop original, but I'm not like a diehard fan of it. And this new era of Star Trek films, I love all three of those movies, to be honest. But prior to them, I was not a Star Trek fan. So these movies made me a Star Trek fan, and I love Chris Pine as Kirk. So if I have to choose one, I'm buying Star Trek 4. And Noah Hawley, I like Noah Hawley as a creative mind. So I want to see his.
Noah Hawley is the one who has the Doctor Doom
Yes,
scripts.
yeah, I want to see that.
So
Yeah.
Legion, right?
Didn't he?
Legion.
Yeah.
Have you? Legion
I started it.
is
It's
weird trip.
It's good, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm Star Trek too. I haven't seen RoboCop, so I can't. I don't know. I
What?
There's another one. Add it to the
There's
list.
another one.
Well,
So I mean, for me to choose RoboCop would be like.
It's okay.
But like you said, the other three Star Trek movies are good. I had zero interest in Star Trek before it, and I mean, in no way am I a Trekkie, but like.
I just want to hear that theme again.
Oh,
That theme is
yeah.
amazing.
So yeah, I'll pick that one.
Michael Giacchino? I don't know.
Giacchino.
Yeah. Great score. You guys know I'm a major Star Trek guy. I think I'm just a little short of being a Trekkie. I might be a Trekkie. I don't know. But
I'm not even close.
My dad got me into Star Trek. He's a Trekkie for sure. And so I'm probably as big a Star Trek as I am Star Wars.
But it's
but
on my list to
Blasphemy.
go. I'm going to go back and watch all the Star Trek series eventually. It's on Netflix season.
Yeah.
The original series.
Series?
I'm going to pick and choose what to watch, but I'm definitely watching the original series.
Yeah. So watch that.
What's
and
the
skim
Picard?
through Next Generation is great.
So what's
but
the
it's
one
long.
with Picard? It's
That's Next Generation.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that.
Because that Picard series is awesome. It's coming out. But
Star Trek Discovery is really good, by the way.
See,
Yeah.
I started it, but I don't have, what is it called? NBC?
CBS All Access.
Yeah, I
I'm
want
not
to get
paying
into
for that. So.
I can't believe I haven't watched any of that yet.
That's good.
Second season, third.
It's going on its third.
I can't believe I missed that. But yeah, so Star Trek for me. Listen, RoboCop. I was a kid in 1987. Love RoboCop. Okay, 2 is okay. 3 is ridiculous. 3 is the one when he flies at the end, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Does he really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's the stupidest thing you've ever seen. But and I didn't see the. I didn't see
Oh my
the
goodness.
Joel
Kinnaman.
Kinnaman one. Joel. Yeah. I didn't see that. I heard it was PG-13.
Yeah. I liked it though. It was a different.
I heard it was okay. But just, look, man, I'm just reading about it. First of all, poor Neil Blomkamp. Give this guy a break. I mean, let him do something. They took Aliens from him. They're taking this from him. Like, geez, give this guy a break. But it's going to be a direct sequel to
The
first
original.
one. We're doing this direct sequel thing where we're
Hey, it worked for Halloween.
Okay.
That's the most recent example.
We're doing it with
No,
Terminator.
Terminator
We did it with.
Well, I'm saying where it worked. I haven't seen
Right.
Dark Fate, but I haven't heard good things.
It was good. I heard okay.
I liked
heard
it.
decent reviews about it, but it's one of these. We should probably just let it go. 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 Perfect for this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, Star Trek has struggled at the box office as well.
It has.
I was going to
but
say, I
Star
don't see a
Trek-
situation where RoboCop Returns make $600 million.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not going to
No
happen.
one's gonna. It's gonna do the same as Terminator just did it,
Yeah.
or Predator last year, or this. Which one of those? No more. No one really is into those anymore. Star Trek.
So you're buying Star Trek.
Star Trek and buying Star Trek. And Star Trek's a TV series. Like people forget that it's a TV franchise that happens to make movies as well. So it's always going to live on, even in television form, even if the movies fail. Some of the movies fail, which I agree. The trilogy this new trilogy is really really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the last one didn't make a lot of money, so.
But they're moving forward with it.
Yeah,
so
which is
they must
happy
believe in it.
to see. Yeah. So.
I'm gonna buy RoboCop. Mainly because I'm pissed off that they're not doing the Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pine,
Yeah.
Star Trek. So
Yeah,
that's
honestly, I was so excited for that.
I'm sorry if you mentioned it, but are they still going to do the Tarantino one?
at the moment, that's still the plan, but it's not. It's still kind of up in the air.
Because we didn't know if that was going to have the
Well,
Abrams
he was
cast.
just gonna write it, right, and produce it.
Yeah, it's just kind of up in the air.
Interesting.
All right, well, let's move on to what we're looking forward to this week. Well, only a few things coming out this week. Not a whole lot. We saw Knives Out already. It's coming out this weekend, and then Queen and Slim
Yes!
is also coming out this
can't wait
weekend.
for that.
Obviously, there's a lot of movies that maybe you guys have not seen, and so what are we looking forward to this week, gentlemen? TV shows, possibly too, of what you're
I
watching.
just spoiled what I
I'm seeing Frozen 2 tonight. No shame. I'm excited for
By
it.
yourself?
No,
He's taking his daughter.
I did not have a daughter. But anyways, I'm excited for Frozen 2. Taking my significant other, but I am also looking forward to Knives Out. But I can go watch that this weekend as well. I'm gonna try to do that. Queen and Slim looks really good.
It's getting incredible.
It's probably gonna
is
be
it?
an
It's
Oscar.
getting incredible.
That was
gonna
my
be-
number 2 for this.
They're saying that
Yeah,
they're saying that both of them could possibly get nominated.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy. Good for him. I forget his
Daniel
name.
Kaluuya.
It was his
Kaluuya?
second nomination, which is because he was nominated for Get Out.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
He's really good.
He's great.
He's really
Yeah.
good.
I'll probably
So
see
that, and of course, Chapter 4 of The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Bryce Dallas Howard's episode.
Yeah.
Who
Cara
lives
Dune
in
is
it?
coming.
Cool.
Cara Dune is coming. So Keith, what are you looking for, dude, man?
I guess Frozen 2 is my answer.
Didn't you pick that last week?
Did I?
Yeah, we all did.
Hey, but I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then I'll
No. Well, all right. Remember, this is for next week. Knives Out, 100%.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is next week. And, but The Irishman is this week coming up, right?
27th.
Yeah,
It's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is it on Netflix or just theaters?
It's both.
It's in theaters right now.
But it's not.
Oh, I
it's
thought
not
it
It's
was.
not in Sacramento, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not on. It's on Netflix on Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
the 27th, whenever it's Wednesday.
Really?
It's Saturday.
I can't. I don't know if I'll be able to physically go to that movie in theaters because it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's a 4-hour trip to the theater. That's really hard. I'm probably gonna end up watching that on Netflix.
Probably,
So.
yeah, same. So.
As much as I want to see it on the big screen because of the de-aging and stuff, spending 4 hours at theaters and
But is it even going to be in theaters up here before it comes out on Netflix?
That's what
Probably
I'm
not.
saying.
So then, I'm just going to watch it as soon as I can.
Yeah.
We're in that little gap of California where we get just enough
Hey,
indie
but
films.
that doesn't mean we can't all hang out and watch it. I'd be down
Yeah,
for
we can do a
that.
viewing of it.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah.
Gio already suggested that, didn't you? The watching party of The Irishman?
Oh yeah.
We're doing it. Let's do it.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's what I'm looking for.
The day if the Snyder Cut ever comes out, can you imagine?
He'll watch it before we get to do a viewing party.
There's no Schneider cut.
It's not. No, there is. I bet, but
No, there's.
it's not going to make a difference.
I posted back to you.
Oh yeah.
Well, there will be a clip out of a conversation between Gio and I about the Snyder Cut. You will see that we had a long
Just
conversation
real
about
quick,
this.
WB's not going to put millions of dollars to finish the special effects just to put out the Schneider cut. They're going to lose money if they do
Which
that.
won't make any difference for the
They're going to
dumb
lose
movie.
money if they do that.
Thank you, Keith.
Won't make a single difference for the
Thank
stupid
you.
movie.
Thank you.
That's not saying I would love to see it. I would love to see it, but they're not going to do it.
You're going to see the clip out. I promise. There's a clip out coming.
They're not going to do it, but I would love to see it.
Versus coming next year. These two.
Wait, so did you?
Yeah, we're listening to that. So, God, you're
Did you shoot something?
Yeah.
What a
you saw my
stupid
reaction.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, he and I had an incredible conversation about this. It started very nice, and then it went somewhere afterwards. About halfway through, it turned. It turned real quick.
Are you guys caught up on Arrow?
Yeah, hell
I'm not.
Love
I
this
missed
show.
it.
I just love this show.
I didn't love the last episode.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
Why?
I think we should watch.
I don't
Smashers
like
together.
him and his kids together. I don't like his kids.
I
in
like him
modern
and his
day.
daughter. I like him and his
I don't
daughter.
like his kids in modern day.
I like him and his daughter. 100%. She's in the
It's
crossover
cool
too.
that he's training
That's about to
because
start too, isn't it?
she's gonna be
Couple
the
weeks.
lead
Something
of
like that?
Green Arrow and the Canaries. It's
Starts
cool
Sunday.
because that he's training her,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know. I want to see him on his journey. I would rather it be him, Felicity, and Diggle on one last mission together. But
She's coming back for the last episode.
I was about to ask.
Last episode, she'll be back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So I don't know what kind of form, but
I was.
what about you?
I was
guys?
Queen and Slim, obviously, by my era.
Oh yeah.
And Bando.
yeah. I mean, I saw Knives Out, so it's Queen Slim. I haven't seen a lot. There's a lot of movies that I still want to see. I want to see Midway a lot. I want to see Frozen 2. I'm very much looking forward to that movie. But I am excited for Queen Slim. And then obviously The Mandalorian and
Peanut Butter Falcon is on Redbox.
Yeah.
now.
Yep, it is. Go watch that movie.
Yeah.
Go
Watch it
that
for like a
movie,
dollar.
please.
I
$2
can.
now.
I can say I'm finishing Man on the High Castle
Me too.
this week.
I have so many TV shows right now. I'm watching All for Mankind on Apocaflix. So
I might watch that show you've been bugging me to watch, Fleabag.
Oh man, yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
I heard
Get into
great
that.
things.
Gotta watch it.
Oh, I'm almost caught up on Lucifer,
Nice.
and
Oh.
I'm almost at season 4, where is when the season that Netflix produced, that Netflix made,
Mhm.
and I highly recommend Lucifer. It's an amazing show.
Watchmen 2 for me.
So
Watchmen is blowing my mind right
This
now.
last episode was the best episode.
Yeah.
yes,
Watchmen is.
Have you watched it, Jacob?
No, I still haven't watched past.
I've not been disappointed by Watchmen.
Oh,
It's so good.
yeah.
So good.
There's a lot of TV, man.
This is
I'm also watching Titans. And then the season finale was last night.
There's too many streaming services.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with it all.
Yeah, so.
All right, well, we'll be reviewing Frozen 2 next week then, guys. I hope everyone will be tuning in for that. That's going to do it for our first live episode of Apocaflix Now. Only fitting that Gio made an appearance. We're all here for it, so that is awesome. Again, I am Jacob Bartley, the host, and I am joined by Keith Barnes, Brian Amosino, Jake Berlin over there, and of course, Gio Ramos over there on the couch. Eventually, we're going to have a camera over there.
We will have a camera set up
And,
there, yes.
of course, Stormy, how you doing over there, man? Good? Good. Is it bright in here? I think he's hungover. Is that why he's always wearing sunglasses? Because he's hungover?
Yeah, I think I think
he really likes Rocket Man.
He's sad that the Empire has ended, and they're in a time of desperate need.
Oh.
Yeah, he binge drinks every night.
Free now.
I don't know. I mean, he's kind of stuck in his armor, He can't take the armor off, so he kind of
Not
has
to
to binge
spoil
drink.
anything, but some of his buddies got.
And he also has a problem. He has a problem. He can't shoot because his arm doesn't stay up. So he has all kinds of issues.
He has problems getting it up. Okay, that makes sense. All right, well, thank you all for watching. Hope to see you all next week. Take care. Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocaflix Movies, click this video up here. You want something a little bit different? Check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocaflix Movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.